Sending positive vibes to all truth seekers. In this video, it's an extension of what is yoga. In this video, we're going to look at how and why to prepare the body in order to prepare the mind, in order to prepare the heart. We're going to see in this video that the end goal is going to be to open your heart. How can we begin to open our heart? Let's start with what we learned from the previous video in What is Yoga. We looked at what it means to decondition. Do you all know what deconditioning is? Anybody know? Well, conditioning is when we learned how to behave in the world from when we were a child. So we went to school, we learned certain things, we learned certain patterns, we learned certain behaviors. Maybe you learned to go to the bathroom at a certain time. Every morning you went to the food line. You ate the same lunch maybe. These are all conditions. These are all memories that you have in your mind. Or maybe you remember in kindergarten class you had a little crush on the boy or the girl sitting next to you. These are all part of the conditioning. It's anything that happened in the past. And that's going to be very important in your memory today, because that is how you are behaving in the world. Even the positive and negative aspects, such as, for me, I'm very inflexible. I can barely touch my toes. Okay, and why is that? Because I grew up playing so many sports without ever stretching. I would just run out there on the field and I would just start playing and my body wouldn't be warmed up. And then when I was done playing sports, I would literally not stretch at all, and my muscles would get so tight. And that's how my muscles are today. And that's why I'm like the worst hatha yoga person you'd ever meet. I'm terrible at yoga. Okay. So then you're probably asking, well, why am I listening to this guy about yoga? You know? And that's going to be a struggle that you might have going forward, is trusting how to trust teachers. So I am not the type of person you would listen to if you want to learn the asanas, the yoga postures, right? Because that's part of preparing the body. So we have to start by deconditioning the body. Okay, so stretching is going to be very, very important. So you were conditioned, your body is conditioned to be way too tight. Tight. All of our bodies are way too tight. Unless you've been doing yoga for 2 years, hatha yoga for 2 years. You have to prepare the body. Another way is exercising. How often do you go to the gym? Do you go to LA Fitness? That's why I like to call it La Fitness. Do you go to La Fitness? In LA Fitness, you're going to be preparing your body. Do you like the gym though? Honestly, if you ask yourself, as honestly as you can, do you like the gym? Probably not that much. So what are some other options that you can do? What are some kind of natural ways that humans move their body to keep it warm and flexible and in shape? Okay. Also, are deconditioning the body, is that the same as staying in shape? Okay, so the idea of staying in shape has been taught to you. So we've been conditioned to believe that our bodies must stay in shape. Well, that comes from the ideal of the American or the Western ideal of what your body could look like. So when we stand in line at the grocery store and you see kind of like the sexy people, the sexy woman or the sexy man, the man has his six-pack abs, and the woman has that hourglass figure. This is what means in shape. But this does not mean that your body is prepared. Okay, we have to start seeing this difference. Some of the people who are posting their beautiful bodies on Instagram and Facebook, yes, they're nice to look at, but that doesn't mean that their body is prepared to opening up. Okay, so the goal is going to be to opening up your body. What does that mean? It means deconditioning your body from what you've been doing, what we have been doing, especially me. I'm a perfect example of what my body has been doing my whole life. It's been not stretching. That's the main thing. Not stretching. I've been focusing too much on strength rather than like endurance and stretching. So the idea, what we want to, the end goal for our body, this is the end goal. This is how you open up your body. Okay. The goal of your body is to be able to sit in one position for as long as you can. Okay, so think about yourself sitting in a chair in one position without moving. Okay, you want to get towards the edge of the chair and kind of sit straight up, kind of like this. Okay, and how long would you be able to do that? Okay, think about how you need to prepare your body so that you can sit without moving a muscle. Without moving a muscle. Have you ever done that? Maybe when you go to the movie theater, maybe you've sat the entire 2 hours without moving, but maybe not. If you think about it, maybe you haven't actually moved, you actually move your body without being aware of it. Your subconscious mind is telling your body to move. Okay, and you're moving throughout the movie. Your body's saying, I'm uncomfortable, like my left butt cheek is falling asleep. So then you move it, so there's a little bit more blood flow in your left butt cheek or something. Right? This is what's happening in our subconscious mind. Is your legs are communicating to your central nervous system. Your hands are communicating to your central nervous system. These are the things that are happening. And this is how we begin to open up our bodies, is by being able to sit like a statue. Okay, so the end goal for your body is to be able to sit like a statue for 1 hour to 2 hours. And this is the challenge for you, but you have to practice. Okay, so next time you go to LA Fitness, La Fitness, your goal is not to become in shape. Like, yes, being in shape is important, but getting in shape just for aesthetic reasons, just for looking hot. Okay, a lot of people they try to get in shape just to look hot. That is not going to be our goal with this. Our goal is to be able to sit and endure sitting for 1 hour to 2 hours. This is going to be the goal for your body. And why do that? What is the purpose of sitting like a statue for 1 hour? That's to prepare your mind. So we're going from preparing the body to preparing the mind is step 2. Okay, so once your body is prepared, after you've been practicing for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and sitting completely still, your mind begins to naturally become more still too. So then your mind becomes more open. So how to prepare the mind? The end goal is to have a more open mind. Okay, a clearer, slower, more open mind. That is going to be the goal. Okay, and there's 2 ways that we can do this. Number 1, like we just mentioned, is to prepare your body so that it can sit for up to 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay, so that's kind of funny because when you're working out, it's not about to get in shape. So when someone asks you, why do you work out? You say, so I can sit for 1 hour straight. It's kind of funny because it's like the opposite. It's so counterintuitive in our society to say something like, I'm preparing my body so that I can sit without moving. But you have to do some sit-ups. You have to keep your abs. You have to keep your lower back strong. Okay. Also, you have to keep your legs extremely flexible and open. Open up your hips. That's going to start opening up your mind. Your mind's going to naturally start slowing down once your body is slowing down. So you have to slow down the body to slow down the mind. So then the mind begins to feel clearer and clearer. Okay, like your mind's going to start feeling like the ocean, calm, peaceful, and without too much. It's going to be very tranquil, and it's not going to be too much bother in your mind. You're not going to be worrying about too many things. You're going to be mostly staying in the moment with your mind while your body is staying still, that is how your mind is going to begin staying still. And the other way to open your mind is through critical thinking and radical open-mindedness. So you want to be an open-minded person. This means being a skeptic in all situations. You got to question everything. So this little idea is going to be related to my video, How to Open Your Mind, and what are our beliefs? What are our beliefs, and why our beliefs are holding us back? So the goal is to open our mind by throwing many of the beliefs that we have into the garbage. We're going to throw them away because they're not going to be used. Our beliefs are helpful to keep our body alive so that we can interact with our family, but it's not going to help us with the end goal of, yes, opening your heart. Prepare your heart to be opened. That is going to be the end goal. Okay, our entire society, what do we talk about? We talk about love, love, love. What is love? What is love? Okay, but we don't know what love is. Nobody knows what it is because, why? It's an idea that people have. But the idea, well, the point is that love is actually an experience, and pure love in its purest form is your nature. It is found in the energy point in your heart. And actually, it's going to be called the heart chakra, and that's what's going to open. You can think of it, you can call it your heart chakra or your energy point behind your sternum. It's right behind your sternum, and that's where the energy is found. And once that opens, the feeling of pure love becomes your environment. Okay, so once your body is open and prepared, and once your mind begins to open up little by little, your mind is going to be much more difficult than your body to open up. That's going to be a little warning, is that your body, you could prepare your body within 2 to 3 months, but your mind is going to take maybe a decade, 10 years. Okay, that's like 50% of your life if you're 20. That's crazy, right? So you have a lot of things to look forward to with your meditation practice. A lot of struggle, but a lot of hope too, because of the potential of opening up your heart. That is what we're heading towards, is opening up our heart to the entire universe. It's the connection once you see that your identity is the entire universe. Okay, so I know this sounds super cheesy, but cheesiness comes from your belief in ideas only. When it's an experience, it's no longer cheesy if it's an experience. Okay, that's going to become your self-identity. Okay, how do we identify now? We identify with our conditioned self. Right now, like for me, for example, most of the time I'm identifying with, my name is Kyle, so I identify with Kyle. And what Kyle is my ego. I believe I'm Kyle, and Kyle is my ego. So Kyle has preferences, okay? And that's the things that I need, my essence, needs to let go. Let go. So let go of yourself. Let go of all of the conditioned responses. Let go of your personal agenda. What is your personal agenda? Like even going to work is part of your personal agenda. We got to go beyond that belief. The idea that I need to go to work needs to be let go and thrown in the trash. Okay. In French, the word trash is déchet. So we got to throw all of our personal beliefs into shit. Okay, so that's going to be very, very, very important. Is opening up your heart by preparing your body to open up, preparing your mind to open up. Radical open-mindedness leads to radical open-heartedness. Okay, and then we begin to disidentify. We no longer attach to the mind. We no longer attach to our body. We're going to be looking in the mirror less for a while. Okay, this is going to be, this is going to be kind of the order. When you believe you are your body, you look in the mirror and you judge yourself. You say, I'm fat, or I like my six-pack abs, whichever one. It doesn't matter. You are still your ego when you believe these. Like either saying that you're ugly or that you're handsome. It doesn't make any difference. You are still your ego judging yourself. It's all based on judgment. Okay, and then you go to your mind, and once you become aware of opening up your mind, you're going to look at your body less and less in the mirror. Okay, because you're saying, I am not the body, right? I am not the body, because you're identifying with the goal of opening up your mind. That's what you start doing after 6 months, 7 months, 8 months of your practice. So your body is starting to get prepared. You can sit straight for maybe 40 minutes, 50 minutes without moving, and that's a great start. But then you stop looking at the mirror because that's not you. Okay, even though your thoughts might pop in your mind, like saying I'm fat still, but you don't identify with the thoughts. So the thoughts are going to be coming in of judging yourself in the mirror, but you know that judgment is not you. That judgment is not going to be coming from you. That judgment is coming from the conditioned self, which we believe we are right now, but through practice, by opening the body, opening the mind, that is, we begin to self-identify with potentially our heart. So you begin to say, I am my heart space, and your heart space is literally the environment, the entire environment, your horizon, all the things that you're sensing through your 5 senses. You begin to identify with your senses and the entire environment, because you're no longer your body or your mind only. You are your body, you are your mind, but then you begin to identify as the environment. So you're no longer human. You're no longer human. Right now we think we're humans. That's kind of crazy, right? We go to college and we're taught that we're humans. Okay, this is sounding kind of new agey, but we are not humans in essence. In essence, we are the universe in total. And the only way to become the universe is by opening up your heart. Okay? So that's what yoga is. Preparing the body, to prepare the mind, to prepare the heart, the energy heart. And that's going to be reached coming through nothingness and then identifying with everything. Todo, todo, todo in Spanish. Todo, todo, todo. Okay, you begin to identify with everything. I am everything. Okay, that sounds very weird in language, because our language, again, another YouTube video, I have a 2-part series on what human language is, and human language is limiting. It's a limiting factor. So when you say something like, I am everything, you start to sound crazy and almost like someone who was a little bit off their rocker. Have you ever heard that phrase? He's just off his rocker. Okay. Once you get into your spiritual practice a little bit more, you actually start to judge yourself. Am I going off my rocker? Am I turning crazy? So that question that we are asking ourselves, am I crazy? That question is coming from your ego. So you don't have to worry about that question. That question is going to pop up. Am I crazy? And yes, you are a little bit crazy, but everyone else is too. The entire universe is crazy, so that's okay. That's no problem. Okay, so just open up yourself to your craziness. And actually, what's going to be even crazier is when you open up your heart, you realize that you are no thing. You are nothing. You are void. You are nothing you can point to, right? If it's something, you can point to it. Like, okay, that's a nice glass of beer. I love India Pale Ale. You point at it and you say, delicious. Okay, but that's a thing. What you are, okay, you're not even your eyes. You could point to your eyes, right? Your eyes are the things seeing the outside world, but you're not even your eyes. You are deeper. Actually, not even deeper. Your eyes are appearing within your total consciousness. Okay, and it's not your consciousness, because that would be an egotistical thing to say. Oh, the consciousness of the universe is mine. That's a total egotistical thing to say, because the consciousness, your essence, is actually shared with all beings, all people, even your enemies. Okay, you actually share your consciousness. You actually share the consciousness with your enemies. That's why it's not worth having enemies. Just get rid of that belief in enemies. It's not going to help you at all. It's going to help you maybe if you're a soldier. Okay, it's going to maybe help you have the desire to kill people, or you might have the desire to use a bunch of fossil fuels. Okay, you're creating enemies when you do that. You're creating enemies in your mind because you say, I deserve to use fossil fuels and other people don't. Then you start talking like Donald Trump. I deserve to use fossil fuels when other people don't. Okay, so then you just got to throw that egotistical belief out the door. Okay, because even with Donald Trump, it is the consciousness. So you share whatever you are, share it, whatever it is, consciousness, with Donald Trump. Doesn't matter if you hate him or like him. That really doesn't matter. Actually, you should probably stop hating Donald Trump. You should probably open up your mind to the fact that Donald Trump does not control Donald Trump. You need to maybe open up your mind to the fact that Donald Trump needs to exist. For the universe to be as it is, we need everything to be as it is. And Donald Trump needs to be Donald Trump. And you need to be you. So yes, naturally, your body and your mind is going to judge Donald Trump for being orange. You're gonna judge Donald Trump for being annoying. But that's part of you, and that's totally fine. You just got to accept it. You just can't identify with it. And that's going to be a very, very important point, is opening up your mind to opening up your heart. Accepting the Donald Trumpness of the world, accepting even beautiful things, okay? Accepting nature in total. Nature happens in our consciousness, in the consciousness, when we open up our heart to becoming the universe, to becoming the environment. When we become nature itself, we are the consciousness that nature is happening in. Okay, so in ecology, if you study ecology, it's very, very important to know that it's all happening. There's no free will within the physical system of ecology, but ecology or nature is made out of consciousness. Okay, the only reason why nature exists is because consciousness exists. Okay, so nature comes from the consciousness. Rather than saying, oh, does a dog have consciousness? No, nothing has consciousness. Things happen in consciousness. Okay, rewind. Okay, so we don't have consciousness. A better word we could use is sentience. We might have sentience. Sentience is kind of consciousness that psychology or neuroscience might use. Okay, we do have that kind of consciousness, but we don't have the English term to use for, boom, clap your hands, all of this. What is happening now? What is occurring in? What are phenomena happening within? Okay, we got to see that all of existence, the universe is occurring within the consciousness. The universe comes from the consciousness. That's a huge idea. Okay, any idea that you can have in your mind, existence is 1 billion times bigger. 1 billion times bigger. It actually has no size. It's so big in size that it has no size. Okay, the biggest, for something to be infinitely huge, like the wall of Donald Trump. If you want to have the biggest wall ever, an infinite wall, it actually has no size. And it can't be physical. if the biggest wall, the most beautiful wall ever, needs to exist, it can't be physical. It has to be infinite consciousness. Because all physicality, the entire universe, happens within the consciousness. It's not your consciousness. It is not even our consciousness. It is the Om. You can't use words to describe it. Okay? It is, you can start seeing it if you close your eyes, you close your ears, you close your tongue. I don't know, just rip your tongue out of your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. Your tongue is great for tasting food because food is amazing. Oh, that when you come out of a meditation, maybe you've been bored out of your mind for an hour. You come out and you taste food. Oh, that's just love. Food is love. Animals are love. Walking around a lake, the pure bliss arising from the lake into your experience. That's what your intuition is the beauty of nature, the beauty of your environment begins to hug you. So nature is hugging you all the time. It's just pure love, pure embracing. And that's our nature. The universe is hugging you. That is your nature. And it hugs you in your heart. It can start hugging you, and you can hug nature and the universe by preparing your body, preparing your mind, to eventually opening up your heart to everything. Okay, so to end the video, let's get into our heart space by breathing into it and out of it. You breathe into your heart space, and you breathe out of your heart space. To know that that's what we are. Our heart space has no location, it just is. And that is yoga. Part 2. Peace.